This video contains spoilers for the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3. Do not watch this if you do not want spoilers, but please make sure to come back to the video after finishing it. If you want an in-depth review and a non-spoiler review of the game, I highly recommend Laser's review on Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a great video with a lot of effort and love put into it and totally worth a watch.
They can take your world. They can take your heart. Cut you loose from all you know. But if it's your fate, then every step forward will always be a step closer to home.
Kingdom Hearts is my favourite game franchise of all time. I love almost everything about it. The story, whilst a bit confusing at times, is great. The characters are great, everything about it is great, at least most of the time. I've been invested in this franchise for over a year and enjoyed every second of playing it, and I had the pleasure of discussing it with my friends as well. So, what do I think of Kingdom Hearts 3? The end of a saga that began 17 years ago. First of all, the gameplay is fantastic. Sora's movement is incredibly smooth and fluid, and moving around the map in its area is an absolute joy like previous games. And with the addition of flow motion from Dream Drop Distance, combining with Sora's mobility with the game's combat can make for some great moves. Combat has improved in every sense, with Sora's drive forms from Kingdom Hearts 2 becoming the Keyblade transformations. I was very happy to find out that you could also level up your Keyblades, and I had a blast just using the Kingdom Key every time. The ability to swap Keyblades in mid-combat was also great, and allowed me to equip the Kingdom Key, a combat-based key, and a magic-based key for any situation. The gummy shape makes a return, and for the first time, Square made it enjoyable and one of my favourite parts about this game. In the past, specifically in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, I often disliked the parts with the gummy ship, perceiving them as boring and tedious, preventing me from enjoying what I wanted. However, gummy ships in this game are an absolute blast. With the massive open space that you're given in each zone, there's much to do. You can grind for synthesis items, unlock the treasure spheres, and battle countless Heartless on the way. There are some places where combat falls short, however. For example, a lot of the attraction rides feel very inauthentic and useless, which isn't helped by the starting animations, which drag on for what feels like forever. There seems to be opportunity to use a lot of variety in the combat, but when the game gives you no real need to actually use most of this, you end up just spamming the hit button until an action command shows up, then spamming the hit button until you have a finisher. Don't get me wrong, I love most aspects about the combat, especially some of the Keyblade transformations. Another issue I found was how easy the game was. Playing on standard, I died a total of 2 times before reaching the final boss, where I only died twice then as well. This is a massive change when it comes to difficulty for Kingdom Hearts. Even on beginner mode in 1 and 2, I found some parts to be incredibly strenuous and difficult, to the point where it took me months to beat Ansem at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 3 in comparison makes me feel too powerful, even during the pivotal boss battles where I feel so empowered, and it really takes away a lot of the weight and significance to the boss. I long for the days where it would take me hours, even days or weeks to finish a boss, because the payoff was so satisfying. The bosses in this game feel so dumbed down in comparison. Instead of you actually preparing for a boss by equipping the necessary items like ethers, potions and elixirs to take on a boss, everyone feels as if whilst they can take a lot of damage and deal out some as well, there isn't much in terms of actual challenge, as a cure spell or a potion brings you back into the game instantly, having very low stakes. Like all the Kingdom Hearts games, the music is incredible. Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the best scored games I've ever played and quite possibly has my favourite soundtrack of all time. From starting the game, listening to the new edition of Dearly Beloved, it instantly became my favourite. The 2 new songs by Hikaru Utada are as emotional and as significant as ever, with the orchestral version of Don't Think Twice becoming one of my favourite pieces. I especially loved the rescored themes of the characters, and Anti-Aqua and the rescore of The Other Promise made for some of the most emotional moments in the game. Every world has its own original soundtrack that plays throughout the world, but it captures the essence of those worlds so perfectly that it truly feels like you're in them. Now comes for the part of Kingdom Hearts 3 I take the issue with most, the narrative. Kingdom Hearts 3 seems to be trying to tell a 40 to 50 hour game in a far smaller bracket of time. This ultimately leads to some pacing issues in the story, and whilst the Disney worlds are full of passion, heart and melted nostalgia, you feel somewhat unsatisfied as the game progresses, and it got to the point where the most story we had in relation to this game was a mere mention of Ventus from Vanitas and Monstropolis. Kingdom Hearts 3 also feels like it has a great disconnect from the franchise it's part of. I mean, Twilight Town is supposed to be the main hub of everything, and it plays so little a role, and the map is only 2 areas. No alleyways, no jobs, no skateboards, no train station. I feel that there also wasn't enough returning locations, such as Radiant Garden. It's frankly a shame that a world so integral to the previous games is reduced to a few cutscenes. I mean, look at the castle! There's a lot to be desired for Kingdom Hearts 3, which I think they missed out on. I mean, no Final Fantasy characters, no critical mode, no Radiant Garden, no Atlantica. Many plot points are there for absolutely no reason as well, and the new Princesses of Heart are established and then quickly forgotten and disregarded like that. However, when it comes to bad writing, Kairi takes the brunt of it.
I have come to learn that you too can wield a Keyblade. I am glad you are here.
Ever since Kingdom Hearts 1, Kairi has been a damsel in distress and capable of basically nothing, until the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 where it is revealed that she can wield a Keyblade. Now fast forward to the present, 13 years after this is revealed, and she is utterly useless. She's given more to do in these previous games as well. She at least restores Sora from being a heartless in the first game, and she helps out in the world that never was in KH2 more than she does when, you know, she has actual proper fucking training. Speaking of which, I really like the scenes between Kairi and Axel. They make for some really good moments of development for him. Kairi, on the other hand...
Daddy, why'd you leave me? Daddy!
It's an issue that Kingdom Hearts 3 brings to the forefront, with her being completely useless in the big massive battle, and then she's kidnapped and then gets fucking off by Xehanort right in the end. Kingdom Hearts 3 has a massive issue with its pacing as well. For about 70% of the game you're going through the Disney world trying to regain your power and unlock the power of waking, but when the time comes to use it, Sora learns that it's something that he's always had, making everything leading up to that completely pointless and a waste of time. The moment in question is when Ventus is awoken from the sleep that his heart has been in. He and Aqua see each other again after roughly 13 years and...
Good morning, Ven.
Good morning, Aqua.
This ties into the issue I have with some of the dialogue. Kingdom Hearts as a whole has had some pretty bad and sometimes laughable dialogue before, but here it just seems to be in such abundance at times that moments like that can be completely ruined sometimes. It's such a shame as well when compared to Aqua, Terra and Roxas' returns, which are some of the best written moments in all of the franchise. Thankfully the climax in the Keyblade Graveyard and everything during that are some of the best moments of the franchise. The return of characters that we feel we haven't seen for years, coupled with some of the best writing in the game, make for some incredibly tear-jerking scenes. Even to the point where I had tears coming from my eyes when Roxas returned.
Hands off my friends.
It cannot be.
Roxas! My turn.
And I was fairly close to doing the same during a lot more moments. Whether it be the moment where Ephemer and all the Keyblades coming to help Sora with the Heartless Tornado, or the return of Terra.
Behold, this town. Once a seat of power for all Keyblade wielders. It is the nexus from which all worlds spring. Here I and my other selves can be one. United in Scala et Caelum.
Skylat Kylum was a great part of the game. The boss was actually challenging, there were some nice Easter eggs to go along with them, and the music was incredible. The only thing that I take issue with, however, is the lack of fake Danny DeVito. The sudden redemption of Xehanort. Now, listen, I love a sympathetic villain as much as an ex-guy. Syndrome, Loki, even Voldemort falls into that category for me. It's just that Xehanort is not that type of villain at all. For a game franchise to have such a clear emphasis on darkness is bad and light is good, it's very confusing to me why Xehanort, someone who wanted to consume every world in darkness, is treated as if he is a sympathetic villain when before this, he is played up to be a cartoony, cliche villain. And he could have been, and whilst the port of Ericus is very touching and lovely, it's bogged down by a feeling of dissatisfaction that you feel during and after it. Overall, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a hit or miss for me. On one hand, the game is incredibly gorgeous in terms of visuals and music, with a plot that is poorly paced when it had the potential to be the best written of all time. The saving grace for this story is the moments that happen during the game. I by no means dislike the game, and the fan base and passion from everyone involved and invested in the franchise make it totally worth playing if you have previous investment in the franchise. Do not play this if this is your first experience with Kingdom Hearts. Please go back and play the rest before starting this one. With that being said, I give Kingdom Hearts a 3 out of 5. The ability to swap keyblades mid-combat was also gay. We need a drink.